Welcome back to ESEA Orange. Just wanted to let you guys know that the game is going to start in another 25 minutes. Just gonna let that hang in the air. No, really. I think the game could be starting pretty soon. The STV is up. Thank you, ESEA. So the game will begin slightly behind schedule, but this is a LAN. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, right, Blank?
Yeah, what is punctuality?
I mean, this is how we know we've made it into the pantheon of esports because nothing starts on time. But I don't want to even get hung up on that because we are here for a game that could potentially be the final if one man can deliver the goods. His name is Arctic Joe. I'm gonna ask you for some insight, Blank, but
Ah,
just to clarify, the game we're here to see is Classic Mix-Up versus Froyotech. It's another one of those upper bracket round one games. The loser of this will be going to play Street Hoops in the lower bracket. The winner will progress to face off against Elevate. And yeah, Blank, I want you to tell me all about these teams and their season.
let's see. So you have Froyotech, 14 and 2. I think kind of the favorites to win it all at this LAN. Hot off their win at I-52. 14 and 2 in the regular season, only dropping two very close games to Elevate. And then we have Mix Up, who have mixed up their roster a little bit this season with dropping Squitter. Um, for LAN, no longer having TLR. You have Arctic Joe now on Scout. You have, I believe, Platinum's going back to Pocket. Hard Blue Roamer, Zaylox Demo, Indus Medic, and you still have Enigma on Scout.
Did they actually drop Squid, or what was his departure
I
like?
I actually don't know, and Squitter's in the chat if he would feel so inclined to
Give us a scoop,
inform
man.
us. Yeah, he's got the inner deets. He can give us them details.
Exclusive. Please tell us, Squid. We'd love to know. And tell me then about Froyotech. I was questioning you for the first game, the opening game. Have Froyotech really been trying their hardest in the main season? Can we really put a lot of weight behind those two losses against Elevate?
Mmm, not particularly. LAN it's really the only thing that matters. I mean, more or less, they knew they were gonna make LAN, so they kind of just play their game for the regular season. LAN is when you see the pocket strats come out, and new things they want to do, or where teams are a lot more crisp. Because rather than playing, that 10, 15 hours a week, the minimum, you play like 3, 4 nights, or you scrim, and then you play your matches. Come LAN time, that's where you put in a few weeks of preparation. You're grinding out the DM, the MGE, so you're hitting shots more consistently, you're hitting some of the more crazy shots, and your coordination and teamwork and strats, they're all a little more fine-tuned. So this is really, regular season, yeah, they lost a couple of times, but I don't really put any emphasis on that at all.
Yeah, whenever you're the best, the maintenance required, the upkeep of staying on peak form is probably a lot less. I say probably because I've never been the best. I don't understand, blank. But Froyotech still coming in here as favourites in my mind. But I'm a big fan of the underdog. Street Hoops came close. I think Classic Mix-Up are gonna be the team to do it. I don't know who Arctic Joe is, but as soon as I heard he used to play Natural Selection, I knew he was one of God's own gamers. So I am sure he is going to be incredible. What can you tell me about Arctic Joe? Have you played against him much?
I've played against him a bit. His aim is solid. He's definitely a talented up-and-coming player, but the interesting thing to note with Mix-Up is, you've had kind of the core of Enigma, Platinum, Harblue for, God knows how many seasons now. So, they have that synergy there. But the interesting thing is, just kind of the whole roster shuffling over the season. You have Harblue going from Medic back to Roamer. You had Plat getting off Demo. And I believe it was roaming earlier in the season when Zaylox came to Demo, and then now he's back on Pocket, and you have Zaylox on Demo, and you don't have Squid anymore on Scout, so you have Arctic Joe, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not they were able to kind of piece together, all the players that they have and kind of assemble this fine-tuned machine that, we're used to seeing Mix Up Regular season, you know, they just kind of show up and play because they're like, as long as we make LAN, that's fine. And then come LAN, mix-up's generally a bit of a different beast. This is where they come to win, so, you know. I'm kind of actually curious to see what the overall product is now, because I don't actually have much info on it, because, you know, the whole roster shakeups, but I imagine, you know, it's mix-up, they've come to play to win, so. We have the classic Planny matchup, as I call it, Platinum Banny, so.
As he just coined today.
Yeah, the Planny matchup.
That's now in the dictionary. That's part of the official TF2 lexicon now.
Yeah.
But I'll do a quick roster rundown and see there are 12 players on the server. Playing here for Classic Mix-Up, you will find Enigma and Arctic Joe on Scout. Pocket will be Platinum, Aroma will be Harblue, Xelox on the Demo Man, and Indust playing Medic. Facing up against them will be Froyotech, winners of the last 4 LANs they have attended. Clockwork and Banny, Indomitable Scout pair. Lansky on Pocket, Blaze on Roamer, ever so handsome. Dewatna playing Demo Man, and of course Shade, team captain, maybe, on Medic. Who do you think is in charge actually in Froyotech? That's the question. Who's the boss?
Froyo, I feel like people kind of think of Banny as the hive mind, but I'm fairly certain to a good degree, because Lansky's the Pocket, he generally kind of controls the calls, but, you know, Banny might give other calls as well. Shade might say something as well, being the medic. I feel like those are kind of the 3, then, you know, Clockwork, Blaze, Duat, and I kind of do their own thing. Well, I feel like, I don't know, Shade
he controls
kinda...
the Twitter account, man. You know, he's got the real power. He's the businessman.
True. He's the, yeah, he controls the real power, the whole, the public opinion, you know. He has the audience at his fingernails, you know.
Are we going live? No, I'm gonna calm down. I see a lot of people standing and spawn.
Yeah,
they're trying to imitate going live.
It might have been like we went live and then, you know, they paused in the future so that, you know, somebody lost the mid-fight and then they paused because somebody fucked up their rollout or something, but, yeah, we do have 12 players on the server, hoping to start soon as we, whatchamacallit. Oh, I lost my train of thought. That's the lack of sleep coming into play.
Blaze, man, what's on your mind?
420 Blaze it. I don't know, Blaze is a gorgeous gamer, shout out to Tyler, but, stream good to go. Okay, I imagine then if Enigma's saying that, that's 90 seconds in the past, then yeah, we're good to go. I just want this game to go live, honestly, you know, it's the classic mix-up, the classic matchup. What more is there to say? Video games will be played, air shots will be hit, meat will be shot, you know. Let's play some game.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm just, wait. I'm totally distracted here. Oh yeah, Kurt's telling us that the game is starting in real time.
Oh, there we go. Picking the higher seed. So who do you think's gonna take the first mid-fight, Ads? Who's the guy to watch?
I would have to say it's gonna be the Clockwork Show all day, every day. He's just gonna abuse those snake water mids. Looks like we are actually going live here, so if you just joined us on ESEA Orange, this is admirable. We got Blank and Truck on the camera too. This is the first map of this best of 3. It's the upper bracket round 1 between Froyotech and Classic Mix-Up. I've just tipped Clockwork to clean up on this middle, but straight off the bat I'm going to be checking out Dewatna, who is there pretty fast. He's already trying to pump out the damage. He's destroyed Harblue in the kitchen. He's down as low as 30. Huge damage there. The Roamer effectively out of the game. He's gone and picked up the kit, and he's going to come in to combine Platinum for a bomb onto Shade, but that Surf up onto the high ground, incredibly somehow survived, but the position isn't good. They're all forced down onto that funnel. They're soaking up so much damage they've had to back out, and my prediction proved to be entirely incorrect there.
Yeah, Clockwork did do a lot of damage to the other team's scouts, but, you know, Froyo really reactionary there to Harblues. We do kind of have the push here. Mix-Up just bullying their way in, and it looks like Froyo's not going to contest this without Lansky, so Mix-Up off of just a couple of picks at mid are able to secure a free 2.
Dewatna's sitting lower here, setting up a sticky trap. He's got Blaze in tow, trying to maybe bait someone in, but they have given up 2 points. They're going to sit back on last with that full Uber chart, 6 players apiece. But it looks like Clockwork is in danger of getting caught out there. He will go down lower. Harblue and Enigma combining to claim credit for that one. Clockwork won't be back on the field for 10 seconds. So that gives Harblue a window of opportunity to bomb in here. She just threw that roller door into spawn, survives on like 20 health. And with Enigma going down as well, that means there is a 2-man advantage here for Froyotech to move out on. They're taking it quite gingerly though. They see that the combo of Classic Mix-Up is just poised there, ready to push into them. That Ubercharge, of course, will nullify the man disadvantage. The Ubers have been popped off, but... Or actually, it hasn't been popped off yet from Shade. He's managed to just sit in the safety of lobby. It's Mix-Up who now must make the big play. They found 2 frags, and they're going to continue here. They need to get that pop off. They need to make Shade use his Ubercharge. But now they seem a little uncertain. They know those spawns on Snakewater Last are treacherous. They don't want to commit into that.
No, they aren't. Banny got a really nice force sneaking through the cheese area there, as we do have the pop. Is that... No, not Zalox, that's Duatna bombing in, not able to get Endus. Banny goes down. This is actually really, really bad news here for Froyotech on the push out. Duatna goes down to a nice bomb in from Platinum, and with Banny and Duatna down, Platinum goes down though, so we have a 4-on-4 here, but there is no demo on the side of Froyo, and a pretty big advantage for Mix-Up. I actually would have liked to see him start pushing here, honestly, rather than waiting for the spawns. We do have a scout coming out. That's the Clockwork thing. He's going to push out, you know, try to abuse his aim and take these fights, but sometimes it's not always ideal, as now we have a pick as well as a big Uber advantage. Getting through the lower, nice little surf by Endus, and we do have the shutter push. Now, if Elevate was any evidence to these pushes, you know, picks are going to happen on the other side of the map, but that doesn't look to be the case. It's Mix-Up, I'd say maybe a little more veteran squad, a little bit more coordinated as they run their scouts straight to point as the other team tries to hide out. And Zalox stick is off, and we have the first round going to Mix-Up.
Yeah, man, that was well executed. That is definitely the correct way to deal with the team who's trying to back off and kite your Uber. Just rush that point, and here they are, 1 round up as we go on to the second mid-fight. Zalox is going to tag Duatna, and he's looking a little scared over there. Lance, he's jumping up, but 2 soldiers sail past him as the big aggression comes in from Classic Mix-Up. Platinum's in onto Shade. Somehow Shade survives, surfs away on 50, and he has backed off down to that lower area, but this time they seem to be finding more frags than previously. Enigma's coming in from behind, haven't picked up the kit though, but Duatna's sitting there with the sticky trap already set up, and it's going to be a complete wipe there, Blank.
Yeah, that was a really nice double soldier bomb coming out of Mix-Up, but I think 4G, like, so far, they're trying to play the passive bid here and kind of bait the double soldier aggression, which is, you know, it's kind of a coin toss whether or not it works. As you saw the first mid, you know, Mix-Up got some really good aggression, they got the picks, and they just rolled it in a second. Here, though, this might be our first pause of the LAN, which, pauses are generally never a good thing, as they sometimes... They can go for a half hour, even longer, so I'm hoping it's not the case this time around.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's usually like somebody's PC has died or the ESEA system has just gone offline. But, I'm hearing from Kurt right now that the network may have shut off for some people, because killing the ESEA admin has just gone offline, so, you know, maybe time to go for a break here.
Well, you know, if anyone needs a restroom break, smoke break, maybe some new popcorn or something, I guess now's the time.
I've got to, you know, quote Tasteless, the veteran StarCraft 2 caster, and tell you guys that technology is the vehicle of esports, and sometimes that vehicle breaks down. Just want you to dwell on that and understand that it's all going to be fine. We will get back into the action as soon as possible, but for the time being... Whoa! Curse of the caster. There will be no more pause. Continue.
Let's see, well, you know, the classic HUD breaks after a pause. I see Enigma building a gun at last. Let's see, what is Indus percentage? 60%. We've got Shade with a full advantage. A push coming in lower with the pocket, the demo, and a scout. Uh-oh, this is going to be bad news bears for Mix-Up. Indus goes down really early here. Duatna sticking off the right. There is a heavy. Platinum goes down. This should be a round here going the way of 4G. Yeah, just too many picks. Really nice, clean entry on the lower side. And we have a 1-to-1 game so far here. It's 2 relatively quick rounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Indus died so quickly there in that push, because Zealox did a great job of forcing them early with the spam from lower, but it is 1-1, and that means as we go to middle, nobody's in the lead here. It all comes down to Zealox. He's slightly faster than Dewatna, but he isn't really doing much damage. In fact, takes a little bit of chip there, and now Lansky's going to jump up top. He's trying to bait a little bit. He's looking for the scouts to come forward so that Dewatna can do that damage, but Clockwork's trying to run in deep onto Indus, but seems to whiff the shots a little bit, didn't do the damage he was intending. Now they find themselves 4 players down. Dewatna and Shade are backing out, but they've taken different routes, so Shade is sort of losing that Uber advantage right now. Zealox moves forward. Arctic Joe already capping the point with Platinum, but they could be moving forward here and trying to put pressure and not allow them to set up the defense that they want to. We saw that coming out from Elevate in the previous game. It is definitely an option, a good strategy to bring out of the old kit bag, but they have decided to sit back. They're going to wait, and they're going to take that Uber versus Uber fight.
Well, we do have the Clockwork sniper. Clockwork, you know, definitely one of the top snipers in the game. You know, he's got the aim for it, so we do have the off class. So it looks like that's where the pause was. Not sure what happened. Maybe somebody's, you know, computer crash. Hopefully it doesn't seem to be the case. At least it's not the medics. So we are going to have probably a sack here from Parblue of some sort. Clockwork and Lansky getting really low. Actually, we just get a pick off here on Lansky, which should cue the push for Mix-Up.
Yeah, they seem to be just trying to set up for a push lower. They got both scouts taking a buff here. Platinum, now they're going to go up top. They don't seem like to think that, you know, that pick is worth pushing on. Even if they just throw in that one player, it's like a no-risk play, but they have waited. Now Enigma's going to run in and kill Blaze, but will be avenged there almost immediately. But that was a distraction for Harblue to come in. Everybody was looking in, but doesn't really put much hurt on the Shade, who is almost back to full health with that regen. They're thinking of moving forward here. They see that, you know, they have that one-man advantage. They can start to try and find frags. Platinum has taken so much damage there, but does manage to live to tell the tale. He's backed out. Clockwork's gone down meanwhile to Zealox's sticky trap, but we saw previously that that one-man advantage wasn't enough to encourage them to push. They seem quite content to take a leisurely pace here around that lobby area.
Yeah, I'd really like to see, you know, these teams abuse the picks they get more often. It's kind of like the same thing we said with Elevate, where they get a pick and then nothing really comes of it, or maybe they go sack one person, so they do a 2-man sack off of their pick. Blaze tries to sneak in lower, but Arctic Joe just floats him. But, yeah, it looks like Lansky's trying to lead the way here. Arctic Joe dropping really low, both Ubers exchanged, a bit of multiing happening on the side of Mix-Up. Platinum jumps out so that Zealox, oh my god, just pipes Banny right in the face. Lansky trying to air shot, and Dewatna goes down to Platinum though. This is huge. 3 people up right now for 4G. Blaze is respawning. Mix-Up's gonna walk in on that top right side, and this is a lot of trouble for 4G. Can they hold? We have Enigma here on the flank, on the soldier. Blaze is able to take down Platinum. He also brings down Enigma. Lansky kills Arctic Joe. They're actually gonna be able to hold the Zealox on 1 HP. Where is Indust? He's safely tucked away in the saw room. These teams and pushing last. That seems to be the tale of Snakewater.
Yeah, they took their time about it when they actually pushed. It didn't work out for them, and now they're gonna have to give up that CP4/2. But they've also sacrificed a lot of Uber time here, so you know we're gonna see 4G pushing momentarily with that invulnerability. Here they come in. Banny and Lansky leading the charge, trying to find frags. They've already got Platinum on entry, but who else can they find here? It's the Ninja Vanish coming out from Classic Mix-Up, but now they're thinking of pushing in again. 99% here. Indus just about to get that card. He wants to go for it. There's a back cap on at the same time that I totally missed. It was Harblue. He was nipple hairs away from getting that one, but it didn't happen, and I think that Classic Mix-Up knew it because they didn't commit for the block there.
Ooh, Indus getting forced there. He definitely looked like he wanted to use the Uber, but this was a really nice kind of bait there by Froyo. Indus thinking he can actually get to him, but his scouts didn't have the intention of going forward there. They probably should have tried to sneak in lower, so a nice force coming out of 4G, and Shade sitting with a very big Uber advantage that'll probably be pushing in momentarily.
Yeah, he's dropped down to lower. He's bringing the push on the grassy area. Lansky eating the buckshot here from Arctic Joe. He's jumping up to take control of that little hut, and that's always a powerful place to play from. Jumps forward, takes down Platinum, who was caught out, didn't get the memo that they were backing out. The Uber does get popped off though, but they've lost 3 players for it. They're just about to get capped there, and the push is already coming into last. Banny's leading the way. He's drawn the attention to one side, while Lansky jumps in straight on to Indus. Indus gets the Saw, pops the charge!
Indus, what a player. Gets the Uber Saw, manages to get Uber. Are they going to be able to hold this? Hardblue goes down, Indus running around with the arrows. Just heal your soldier, it hits the arrow on Plat, and they're going to manage to hold this. Indus, what a player.
Dear lord. So they'll be moving out here, they'll be trying to count players, they're looking for 3, and they can see all 3 right in front of them. That's going to give them a lot of confidence to commit to this retake of CP2. Lansky wants to go forward though, realises he's going to die and just kills himself on the wall there. Shade's going to back out, regroup with his entire team on middle, but they've got both scouts up here, so there's definitely a lot of potential to make it difficult for Mix-Up to push in. You got those scouts can obviously just sit in the high ground and deny soldiers, but also the backcap threat. Enigma being the king of backcaps, he might be wise to that one though. But both teams now sitting in that stalemate position. Look at the position of Classic Mix-Up actually. They are very uncertain of the Uber situation. They're sitting all the way back, building their charge before they take up a more aggressive hold here, but already the Uber's been popped off by Shade. They're in deep. You're going to see Indus popping off to try and save as many of his team as possible, and he's done that, but I think immediately Froyotech realised that the Uber probably wasn't a good one. They shouldn't commit to it, and they backed out. Harblue's gone and overcommitted into the Saw room there without any of his teammates. He's gone down, but luckily Classic Mix-Up find a frag onto Clockwork. Gets turned into a 5-on-5 here in Blink, but it's pretty hectic. 3-4 players dropping for Mix-Up. Only Zealox remains alive. The entirety of his team dead. It's all up to him to go huge or to get the hell out of there. But Lansky's already on last. He's flanking him. Zealox is jumping to that spawn door. But Lansky is low health and the respawn comes in for Harblu. Might be able to get 2-3 frags here if he can turn around and block the point. His teammates are spawning. It's all on Arctic Joe and Indust here. Oh, they're not going to be able to do it though. The demo man was sitting there reloading the whole time. Dewatna was definitely going to be able to crush that one whatever happened, but that was pretty intense right there, Blake.
Yeah, we got some really scrappy fighting going on around. Hardblue, though, kind of overextending. After the Ubers were reset, he jumped into Saw by himself and just got caught out by the entirety of Froyo's flank, and they just decided to dry push in with that pick. As I'm watching Banny and Clock are both kind of playing this top left side here with Lansky as well, so once again kind of opting for that relatively passive mid. Banny's on Hardblue, not really doing much. A lot of picks going Mix-Up's way, and this is kind of the problem when you play the passive mid but you don't land the shots, is whoever's the aggressor is just going to run over you like this. And now we have Banny hiding underneath, grabs the med pack, he's going to fight the scout, he's capping mid, this could be huge. Oh, but Arctic Joe! Tinny two-shot over here, sits him down, freezing him like a polar bear. He's like, not on me, son, I'm from the North Pole.
Look at Harblu, man, look at Harblu, he's on last, he's hiding on that left spawn door, he's trying to spawn camp. But nobody's coming out there, and they have no idea that he's standing there. Now he's going to jump around, he's unsure what he's jumping high, but the medic's already gone in. He's trying to contest that scout, but he's going to get absolutely wrecked. But they're stacking the point, but just... Oh, Blaze steps off, but he was the guy closest on the point there. He just stepped off for half a second, and the cap comes in. Mix-Up tie the game up 2-2 here. Oh, baby.
Oh, man, this is considerably more fast-paced and just action-oriented compared to the stalemates on last we saw in the previous series, but a lot of back and forth right now. This is just, high-level gameplay. I'm definitely happy to see the Mix-Up, is coming to win, as I'm kind of watching Dewatna on these mids. Neither demo really getting an early advantage here, but now Dewatna doing 1 billion damage. This should be a 4G mid, as 3 people go down instantly. Everybody on 4G is still alive. Banny and Clockwork probably going to get a lot of cleanup. Just Saylock's alive. Is he going to manage to get out of this one? Yes, he will. So, these mid-fights, it's just, Dewatna was able to walk across the point and nobody looked at him, and he just lobbed 4 stickies on top of Mix-Up, and all of a sudden, your whole team's dead.
Yeah, I was watching Lansky pre-fire onto Enigma up top, absolutely shut him down in the combination with Banny there, but right now, we're watching Classic Mix-Up trying to shore up the defenses here. They've just lost Platinum on entry. Uber's been popped off, but they are very short-handed as Arctic Joe and Harblu join him in the spawn queue. Clockworks are on the point, and he's just being stickied on there by Dewatna, and that's 3 rounds to Froyotech. Going to take us to the half-time here. What lessons have been learnt for classic mix-up?
Wow, this is kind of looking like just like Gully Wash was with what teams was it? Elevate and Street Hoops are like the team that wins mid just seems to kind of steamroll around. But yeah, these quick paced, just it's mid fights right now. Honestly, that's how relatively evenly matched these teams are, at least on this map so far. It's, you know, whoever hits the shots at mid, just the tiniest things add up.
Yeah, it's like both teams are playing with a lot of confidence here. Maybe in the previous game we saw a lot of standoffs, a lot of situations where things seemed a little uncertain. Even at the start of this game we saw mix-up hesitant to push into last, but now things are starting to get into full flow. The LAN nerves, the jitters are starting to abate, and yes, this is definitely the tournament picking up a gear. If you've just joined us here on ESEA Orange, this is our coverage of ESEA Season 17 LAN here in Dallas, Texas. There's how much money on the line? Like $16,000?
Yeah, something like that. So there's a considerable amount of change, you know, waddling around in the pot over there. And I guess one of the glass trophies, if you will, which I'm sure between Banny and Platt, you know, they can probably fill an entire living room at this point.
If you're unfamiliar with the North American rules, they play first 5, but it's split up over 2 halves. So the score stands 3-2 right now. The teams have changed sides, so don't get confused, as I often do, by the new colours. But if you're watching it on the stream, you're probably seeing these sick uniforms that Uberchain made. But onto this first mid fight. Zealox is trying to set up a minefield there of stickies, but looks like Blaze and Lansky are setting up for some shenanigans. Blaze with the high double bomb, he's gone behind and he's in, landing big rockets there as he goes behind into the window, and he's turned heads here, allowing the rest of his team to move forward, and it's going to be a complete wipe there, a perfect mid fight in fact from Froyotech, who are not going to let off at all on the gas.
Yeah, that was Mix-Up tried to play a more passive mid there, except the problem was they had their scouts on the low ground, so when Blaze and Lansky went for the double bombs going high, I mean, scouts on the ground didn't do anything to stop that, and they just got obliterated as we have the Uber coming in, you know, pretty late pop. They have so much ground with this. Blaze is going to go down. Clockwork is really low. There is potential for them to hold this. 3 versus 3 right now. Lansky bombing in on the heavy goes down, just Zalox versus 3 players. Can he do it? Oh my god, he hits one pipe. Shade versus Zalox, one-on-one with the sentry. Shade hits the crossbow, dropping Zalox. That's 4-2 right there. Big Dante. Better than Harb's play, he says. Oh man. Look, we got a little smack talk going on here. Yeah, they're having a good time, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hardly probably guldering across the LAN environment there, shouting out inappropriate things, but onto this mid fight, and it is Froyotech in the driving seat. Gonna see a double soldier bomb from up top, but they both got stunned slightly there. Platinum gonna get annihilated and Blaze onto Enigma. Again, Froyotech looking strong on this mid fight. Banny, the only casualty so far for 4G, and they are gonna push fast. They're leaving Clockwork to cap on middle. They're already pounding on Indust's door. He's trying to make it towards the spawn. He surfs! And Lansky dies. Craters, I think there was an arrow connected there. And he's managed to make it into the spawn, but he's still massively behind in this Uber fight. And Enigma is going to go deep into Dewatna's torso there with some powerful shots. Demo Man down, and look at this ballsy play from Classic Mix-Up. They don't even have Uber yet, and they're going to go in deep here. They're connecting 3 players for this force, but a little pause flashed up my screen. But Platinum's going to go down. Arctic Joe does the Ninja Vanish. He's disappeared underneath, but there's only 3 players remaining alive here. And Indus doesn't even have his Uber, but it's mind games there. They're assuming that he does, and they're a little skeptical. Will they continue with this push? Have they got the read on him?
Oh man, this is just... It's as you said, the high-level mind games with their Mix-Up pushing out, you know, with the pick-off they had on Lansky, just kind of using brute force and intimidation to get the pop on Shade, and now they have the big advantage here pushing out. We do have, you know, all the standard classes. For a second I thought somebody was going to off-class. I saw Enigma on heavy, but we're trying to... Zalox trying to lead the push up top here? This is such a hard push out though, like 75% on Shade already, Snakewater last. This is like the hardest one of the hardest, if not the hardest last to push out of. So we do have an Uber pop on Zalox, but he's launched so far ahead. Platinum goes down. We just have the scouts in here right now. There's such a huge threat of a back cap. Just in Dust and Enigma on point. Are they going to get this? No, the counter pop comes out from Shade, and this is just too little too late. And I think that's all she wrote right there. 5-2, so that's a very, very quick snake water.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to respect Classic Mix-Up. They didn't pull any punches there. They weren't trying to, sandbag and turtle. They were playing their own game. But Froyotech just came out on top, and you might think that scoreline is a little one-sided or stacked, but another team might have played slower and got a closer scoreline, but Classic Mix-Up came out here, Mix-Up came out here and played their own game. It just wasn't good enough for this first map. I wonder how the map pick is going to go for map 2 here. Oh, I see it right now in Mumble, in fact. Killing says, Mix-Up ban Viaduct, Froyo ban Granary, and Mix-Up are going to pick Badlands. So, we're going to see the best of TF2 here, baby.
Ah, the classic map right there. It's, yeah, I think it's interesting to note that the maps that are banned, Mix-Up bans Viaduct because I think they're just afraid to play Banny and Clockwork on that map. And then it's interesting for 4G to ban Granary because that's the one map where I believe they lost to Elevate, and it was pretty convincing. Like, they just didn't seem to have an answer on mid-fights. So, I guess both teams showing a bit of respect to their opponents here.
Yeah, I'm taking a gander at the stats too, whilst we have our little intermission waiting for that next STV to come up. And as you might expect, DeWatt the top damage in there, putting out. Oh, actually, just pipped at the post by Lansky, 311 to 310. But a very sort of stacked performance there. A lot more frags and damage coming in from Froyotech. Definitely worthy winners, but looking for the positives here on the mix-up stats. Arctic Joe putting out reasonable damage as Scout. He's come to LAN. He showed up. Zealox as well, putting up 288, but really the team not managing to find the frags, Looking at their frag stats, Platinum, 7 for 16.
Yeah, 7 for 16 and second to bottom damage, so the soldiers weren't really able to do much with their bombs, whereas, as you can see, Lansky 311, Blaze, 232, but still, like, the combined damage between the soldiers, like, 4G almost has 150 more. So, if you consider that, that's like an extra scout pick every minute, which, with like, how the rounds were going that quickly, like, that's a free scout pick every mid going into it, like, you just know you have that advantage.
Definitely, and I'm really looking forward to this Badlands game. Obviously, the first time we've seen that map at LAN so far. Sure, it's only the 4th map that's been played, but as this STV goes down, I am poised to join the next one. I know you're a big Froyotech fanboy. You're at least just a realist. You're calling it how you see it, but is Badlands the map that Classic Mix-Up can turn things over?
I feel like a map like Badlands is probably a little more even keel of a battle, I'd say, at least mid-fight wise, as opposed to, say, like the maps that both teams opted to ban out. Like Viaduct, as I said, I believe Mixup has a lot of respect for the scouts on Froyo, which is why they throw that map out. And then Froyo, they just, from their regular season, they couldn't seem to figure out mids that work on Granary, and Mixup's definitely not a team to be afraid to do double soldier bombs, so probably a bit of respect going that way as well. So Badlands, I feel like everybody's played Badlands. These guys have played that map a billion times on LAN, so this is probably like a place to go to that they're just gonna both teams feel in their comfort zone.
Do you think these double soldier bombs are becoming or have become a little bit predictable? Because I saw a couple of mids on Snake War there where it was attempted by Mix-Up, but it was shut down pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I feel
they saw it coming.
In my honest opinion, a map like Snakewater isn't very good for the double soldier bomb because of like the terrain's relatively uneven, and there's a lot of places where like scouts can just kind of deny your splash from hitting them. I feel like maybe on a map, which is why like Granary was tossed out, that's a map where double soldier bombs are just brutal. Or save and process. Process can be pretty good for that too, like maps like that. So Badlands, I feel like we might see, it might come into play, but we might see Platinum running the shotgun, maybe the same with Lansky, and probably try to control the train a little more, abuse their health, and take kind of duels in a sense rather than just bombing in, going crazy.
Do you think slowing the game down just a little bit, or at least slowing the engagements down, not committing so quickly, would help mix up, or are they just gonna sort of slow the game? Are they gonna lose the fight
Traditionally,
that bit slower?
traditionally, Mix-Up has relatively been, like a fast team, but I feel like as of recent, they seem to perform better if they can slow it down. And Froyo, funnily enough, people used to think back in the HRG days they were like the slowest team, but Froyo, in my opinion, now is probably like the fastest team out there. So it's kind of like a reversal in a sense. But I think Mixup would definitely benefit from slowing the game down because, as you can see with Clockwork, he gets really, really antsy to take those fights. And if they just can abuse something like that, work the flank and whatnot, they definitely have a shot on this.
Yeah, I can see that. Like he looks for his moment when to push, but like it's sort of hard to explain. But there's definitely moments in these firefights, even though they look like really intense and really fluid, but you can bait people out of position just ever so slightly. Like whenever you begin a team fight, you don't have to really commit to it, guys. Like you can always go in a little bit, like show a little bit, and bait your opponent out of position. If you can get that one guy just to step forward too much and focus him down quickly, then obviously you've got that man advantage. And as long as you play a solid game, you can start to snowball things. But what we've seen in a lot of the mix-up engagements so far is like when they go, they just go for it and they sort of try and skill it a little bit and hope they hit their shots and get lucky. But there's obviously other ways to create that advantage and give yourself a little bit of an edge there.
Yeah, I feel like Mix-Up, that play style, it works in most cases in Invite simply because, they're the more experienced, veteran, more talented, better DM team. But, when you go up against the likes of Froyo, like, you can't just throw yourself into that DM mix, because this is a team that can match you blow for blow, or even outclass you in certain scenarios, so... That's where, like, Mix-Up trying to play that fast pace against them, I feel like they're just shooting themselves in the foot, so... Rather than trying to play that kind of fast game that they used to be their go-to, that's why I say I feel like slowing down would really benefit them, because a player like Clockwork's gonna get antsy, and, you can try to fish for something on that, and, it's like you said, you just try to bait a player to take a step too far, and, Mix-Up definitely has the players to capitalize on things like that. They'd probably benefit from taking their time.
Yeah, like we didn't really make a much comment on it, but Clockwork's stats on the first game was like 8 frags for 14 deaths. He didn't necessarily show up, and I remember like at the start he was making some very optimistic plays. Like this, uh, trying to go in like a wrecking ball into 4 or 5 guys, but getting just annihilated immediately. But obviously he's playing his first game at LAN here. He's just trying to find his sweet spot, but that is definitely something that can be exploited, and it's going to be interesting to see if Classic Mixup are aware of these possibilities. Maybe they're listening to the stream right now in between games.
Maybe. I think also another little interesting thing to note, like, I think if you look at it comparatively, Banny's had considerably better stats than Clockwork this season on Scout, but the thing is, Banny typically plays around the combo, so he's the one soaking up, a lot of health, getting the bigger buffs, whereas if you think back to days past, Clockwork used to be the one that would soak up a buff and then run in, but nowadays, he'll get his occasional buff, get some health, but he's not, getting the amount of health he's used to and just running in with it, so that's definitely something, maybe he hasn't fully fine-tuned his play around and mixed up, like I said, they could abuse that. But, I mean, there's Blaze. Blaze, in my opinion, this is the unsung hero of Froyotech. We all acknowledge him as a good roamer, but, like, on the flank, that's where he's kind of the balancing factor to Clockwork. Clockwork's really aggressive. Blaze is, like, he's always there to follow it up or lock it down, so... Those are kind of the two players to really focus on when you play against Froyo. Like, me and Pure used to joke about it, but, Blaze and Clockwork are your combo when you play against a team of those two players.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. Like, I know we were talking about this off air, but it's maybe anecdotal on my part, but I feel like Blaze is despite being the roamer in the top team, he doesn't get much respect as a top roamer in NA. And I don't understand why this is. Maybe Seagull or Wonderwall are more impressive or whatever, but I feel like Blaze has always been slightly overlooked despite the fact that his team wins everything. But maybe it's just like a style thing, like he's not as spectacular as other roamers, or am I just totally misreading the situation?
No, I think I'd agree with you. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, don't get me wrong, Seagull is really incredible, but it's just, I believe it's a matter of play styles, of what, what kind of player is there for his team. Like, Blaze, he knows for his team he doesn't have to be the big playmaker. I mean, he'll go do roamer bombs and double jumps and whatnot when he needs to, but he knows he can just, stay alive, keep consistent spam, lock down choke points, and just be that guaranteed consistent damage. Whereas, a player like Seagull, for him, his kind of go-to roles, he needs to be the guy that makes the openings, gets the frags, which is kind of what Clockwork does in a sense for this team. So it's just kind of a matter of opposites. People generally like they like to put people like Seagull on a pedestal because I mean, it's not that he's incredible, but like he's flashier, he's more aggressive, he's the one doing things actively, and those are kind of the players we look up to in general.
Yeah, and then there's this idea of play styles and the team, and it's like, is there one optimal way to play TF2? Has anyone actually figured it out yet? Is Froyotech the sort of the pinnacle, the high watermark? Is this the best way to play sixes the way they're set up?
I feel like there's really not one particular style that's the best. I feel like you should just be able to do a combination. It should just kind of flow and transition seamlessly. It's like Bruce Lee would say, be like water.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, man. It's really interesting. Like, there's so much depth to TF2, this crazy cartoon shooter, but I would agree that there isn't really one optimal way to play F2. It all depends on your opponent and your team and the chemistry, what you guys want to do. But right now, still players joining the server here. They're obviously taking a little bit of a breather. Kurt's asking me, are we in the server? Yes, we are, Kurt. But I'm not sure if there's going to be a delay here or what exactly going through Classic Mix-Up Mind. Killing says that they're starting now, so 90 seconds with that time continuum of the STV delay.
Alright,
that's
so
when we'll be going live.
Let's get to some prediction ads. What do you think is going to be the scoreline for this game? Are we going to see a map 3, or is 4G going to kind of shut them down here and put it away?
Absolutely, going to be going to a third map. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm always going to back the underdog. Time you asking me for a prediction. Because man, I believe. I love the underdog story. But I know that Classic Mix-Up have a team that can produce. Like, people were asking questions of Arctic Joe, but he's clearly had decent enough stats. I know stats aren't everything, but they didn't lose because somebody was underperforming in the team. It's because of their sort of strategy or the decisions they made as a team, I think, really let them down. They need to try and take a slightly more thoughtful approach to the game.
So it's kind of that, yeah, the chemistry and synergy. Sorry, I didn't really mean to cut you off, but like, I feel like that's something a lot of people like miss. It's like I said with the roster shuffles, when you just kind of throw players on different classes and acquire new players, and just you have this kind of motley crew of individuals assembled. I mean, it's why can you sometimes assemble an all-star team, but it's not the team that wins? It's because, well, teamwork makes the dream work. It's synergy.
It's true, man.
You need a bunch of players that are great at what they do, but they're also great at what they do for the team. Like, because if you have a bunch of people that are really good, but they want to be the all-star, they're playing for themselves. Things, eventually when you meet people of equal skill, that's where you're gonna peter out, and that's where I feel like. It's like I said with Blaze, where, as you said, he doesn't get, the mention you feel he deserves. It's because, he's not the really flashy player, but he does what he needs to do for his team, which is why Froyo has just been, so dominant.
Indeed. I got a question for you. Harblue's played a lot of classes, he's won a lot of LANs. He's playing Roamer here today. What is Harblue's best class? What is the class that you like to see him on?
Me, personally, I like to see him on Roamer, because, like, he just does silly shenanigans, and, like, he goes for crazy bombs and plays, which is, maybe that coincides with what you said, where it's, like, Or with what I said even, where just the flashy, aggressive roamers, those are the kind of things we like to watch, the playmakers, because they're fun.
So that's what's most entertaining, but is that what's best for classic mix-ups chances of winning a LAN?
I feel like, yeah, that's honestly ever since the departure of Siegel, that's kind of what they're missing. Like they're trying to play that quick style, and when you have a player like Siegel, who, brings that to the table, I feel like him and Hardblue are kind of, different styles. Siegel's like, he can go for all the crazy plays and entry frags because he's Siegel. Hardblue's not to knock on him, but like his style is, he's kind of more the guy that invented, the gunboats and silly roamer bombing shenanigans. So, it's a different style, as well as, with Platinum back to Pocket and whatnot. I feel like they're still trying to find an identity while they're at LAN. So whether or not they can come together this weekend, time will tell. But they don't have much time.
Sort of strange watching Platinum as well, because he seemed to be the guy that was dying the most. I'm not looking at the stats necessarily, but like he was the guy going in for the Uber forces and stuff, holding close while his team backed off, and a lot of the times it seemed like he wanted to stay in the fight, but everyone else had already backed out and left in there. Is that the plan, I wonder, or is that just a little bit of a breakdown in communication there, like he's saying one thing and they're thinking another? I mean, I'm looking for Hardblue to be the guy going in making the force or whatever rather, and then you've got your pocket up and you're in control, you've got the good chemistry with your medic when you're trying to make these sort of critical holds or whatever. But discuss it later, man. We're going live here. If you've just joined us on ESEA Orange, this is... Oh no, wait. Have they unreadied?
No, they unreadied. 5 in the server. They juked you, ads. They juked you, but
I don't understand ESEA. I'm looking now at the chat though. I've got it open. But yeah, discuss my point. Is Platinum playing slightly out of sync with his team?
I've played a little bit with Hardblue, and I've played with Endust for a bit, and both of them are very call-heavy players. The same thing with Platinum, so it kind of goes back to the whole chemistry synergy thing. It's like, who's the one calling the shots? It's as you said, Platinum sometimes is staying in when the rest of his team is getting out, so there's kind of a gap in communications there. And like, whose call do we listen to? Or, what's the actual call and stuff like that. These are things that, it takes time to figure out. I mean, I know over my whole season with Mad Men, it wasn't till like the very end we finally kind of figured out a call structure that worked because, me, Mike, and Endust are all pretty call-heavy players, so eventually you have to kind of balance it out, because you can't just have 3 people that call, because, there's going to be different comms, there's going to be an overlap, so you don't know what to follow, so...
Count yourself lucky, man, that you're playing North America and everybody speaks English as a first language.
Yeah, that's right. Over there in Euroland, you guys have many, many different languages, so we do got that going for us.
Oh yeah, I just played with 2 excellent Polish soldiers this season. They were incredible, but sometimes they're a little shy on the mic. I guess in like mix-up situations, it's almost like an embarrassment of riches. They've got so many excellent callers. Perhaps that can be an issue when sometimes they're unsure. But even like, I know it's just sort of anecdotal or looking back at my memories from the first game, but it seemed like even the situations where I saw Platinum like acting the big man and staying forward like he wanted to stay in the fight, it was definitely situations where he should have been getting out of there, or that I would have gotten out of. But he's Platinum. He's the pocket. He's got pocket soldier syndrome there, and he wants to stay in and take every fight. But hopefully we can see a bit more considered play from Classic Mix-Up here in map 2, because I know it's going to go to a third map, so either they're going to play better or Froyotech are going to choke. What do you think is going to happen?
Honestly, just the pressures on Mix-Up. Froyotech, they always perform at LAN, they're always solid. Same with Mix-Up, it's as I said, they have the new roster, new players, whatnot. They need to find their stride, if you will. I don't know. I don't see him walking away with a Badlands win, though. I'm probably going to give a 5-3 to 4G on this map. And I think we'll be seeing Elevate versus 4G in the upper bracket finals.
Alright. Gonna ask you a question here. Is this game live?
It appears to be so, starting the first half. Who do you think is the person to watch? I think you said a lot about Platinum, so you know what? I'm interested to see. What is Plat gonna do at these mid-fights?
Well, you tell me about that. I'm gonna see how fast Awana gets to middle. And I want you to give me the Platinum insight whenever he arrives and he's ready to act. Onto the second half, or second map, damn it. Duana's going to play from balcony, but he's got cover from both scouts here playing around the Hoodoo. And it's a Valley rollout here from Classic Mix-Up. Your boy Platinum, he's jumping in, he's being pressured back there. He's forced on the choke with only 50 health. And now it seems like 4G have lost 3 players as Mix-Up finally make their way through the closet. They've got control of that red train. Duana knows things are looking grim. He bombs in and tries to carpet bomb there. But he's just going to end up killing himself, I think. But right now, Classic Mix-Up looking good. There is a player behind. It's that Clockwork on the blue side, but also Blaze on the respawn is coming forward through the house very soon.
Yeah, Platinum there, he, sort of like I said, I feel like the mids are going to be a little more even kill. He does kind of almost the Roamer-esque thing, you know, where you jump high and you go around, putting pressure on the train, and you land and choke, putting, oh, really? Oh my god, Hardly just dumpstered Banny there and later, but Platinum jumping on the Spire here, we have the full Uber advantage. ×5 cap. I imagine Mix-Up's gonna want to roll this in while Banny's still dead at last.
Blaze is hiding here on Grey Bridge. He was going through the house, but he decided to sort of backtrack whenever Banny went down. Now he's gonna respawn back to last. It will be 6 here. See Sniper coming out from Banny. He's gonna snipe from that left door. I'm trying to find his POV right now. He is looking towards main. He's got his dot on the steps there, but it seems like Mix-Up didn't realise they had a significant advantage there, and they decided to wait and formulate a plan here. Or maybe they just want to give these guys a sporting chance. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that was definitely the time to push. Now we have a scout sack for the Force. Ooh. Is that oh my god, Enigma! Classic E right there. Classic E. With the back, not even a back cap. That's just Enigma right there. It's Enigma thing.
There was like so many things going on in that play, because it was double soldier spam from Platinum and Hardblue. Bottom right got the pick on the Blaze in the same time. That Force came in up top, and then Enigma straight onto the point. It was like a 3-pronged attack there. Incredible from Mix-Up. They're going to roll out Valley though onto the second middle. They're in the lead here for the first time. And now they're forcing their way through the closet. Clockwork's going to go down. Hardblue and Platinum are dead, but so is Indust. Big dams coming out there from Blaze, finding that 2k on Platinum and Indust, but it seems that they could at least cap the point here. They might be facing a repush from Banny and Duana. Duana's still playing here. He's spamming out from the window. Shade is trying to hook up with him. He's down on 1 health, stuck in the corner there. He's just about to be saved, but so close to death. Zealox finding that frag onto Banny with his sticky set up there in Valley. And Mix-Up do take the point, but they are at a huge uber disadvantage here. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, I think right now would be a pretty good time for Mix-Up to go for the Force while Banny's dead. I mean, now, you know, Banny's just starting to respawn. I really would have liked to have seen some aggressive positioning towards choke, you know, maybe try to get Harbin as the push is already in through house. Really, really early pop. Hardblue, is he gonna go down? No, I don't think anybody from Mix-Up's gonna die here, so we're gonna probably have a repush here at ads. And is anyone gonna go down on the flank? No, we have about a 70% advantage. Platinum taking considerable damage in house, but he backs it out. And we have about 80% here.
Yeah, Clockwork was barreling forward towards Reese up there trying to find that frag and nearly got cut off in the house. And again, he's running through the house. Platinum's poised around Hunter to step in, but he will survive again. Hardblue's gone in and died. So even though they have this advantage, it's sort of a... Oh, Platinum's going to go down as well on entry. And the Uber's been popped off. That's a sort of worst case scenario. A little bit of a car crash coming out here from Classic Mix-Up, but Hardblue going in for the play, even though they had advantage anyway, was questionable in the first place. The only player down for 4G right now is Clockwork, and Enigma's feeling the desperation here. He's throwing himself in. Zealox is going to bomb in as well. Surfed on his own sticky. Arctic Joe's trying to get in onto Shade. Shade down about half health here, but will survive. And I just really saw the play there from Froyotech. As soon as he'd killed off a lot of those Classic Mix-Up players, they knew they were desperate. They were just going to back off and play around that jump pad, and cleaned up everyone else with aplomb. Now they're moving in top left. Scout, Soldier and Demo. It's going to be big flashes all around here. The frags are coming in, and Banny's just going to step straight on the point, seeing that the entirety of Classic Mix-Up had backed off into Resup.
Yeah, that was... I don't know where Hardblue got picked on the push-out, but Platinum, I mean, he pre-fired a rocket at the doorway. You gotta know that there's always stickies in front of house on the push-out. You know, Indust dropped him there. I think Platinum maybe thought he knocked away the stickies, but you know, that wasn't the case. As Duatna and Zalox both doing the window rollout. Zalox is a little bit faster, but dropping down to 37 health here so far. Definite advantage for 4G, but it looks like first frag actually goes to Mix-Up here. Platinum getting a 2K, taking down Blaze and Lansky, both the soldiers going down in dust. They actually end up on 4G's side. This is going to be a train wreck of a mid. And where is Shade? That is a full wipe. Yeah, Shade Killblinds, I believe it was in the other team's closet. So this is seeming just like Snakewater. Quick mids, which transition into last pushes.
Yeah, even though Zealox took all that damage, he had a sick projectile at some point in the middle there. I'm not sure if it was a pipe or a sticky, but he pre-fired directly into those soldiers who were coming around from closet and destroyed Blaze, had him super weak. And again, just playing that point straight on there, forcing the action onto the point. Classic Mix-Up in the lead again here, 2-1 in this first half of Badlands. And yeah, I'm feeling confident about the Mix-Up comeback, baby.
Yeah, the Mix-Up comeback. I'm watching Zalox here. He's definitely holding his own to sometimes even outclassing Duatna on these rollouts, but this time Duatna gets the best of him. Lands a relatively early sticky, but Enigma goes down really, really early. That's something you never want to see on a mid-fight if you drop a scout right at the start. That's pretty much mid-fight over, and yeah, it looks like Mix-Up gonna get out of dodge, already recognizing mid-fight is lost, which is the right call. Lansky peeking from the house here. A lot of players on Froyo still really, really low as In Dust We Trust coming up in the clutch when he must. And Blaze goes down. But, yeah, In Dust staying alive here. We do have the Blaze pick, and this should be a 2-hold here.
That crossbow was sick from Indust, but he made an incredible surf out of the slope on middle to survive. Blaze was behind him in the house and nobody seemed to realise or react. But he managed to get himself to safety and he's kept his team in it right here. Enigma's just gone down. Harbly's going to die as well, but they're trying to go in for that force, but Shade didn't even have it then. And it seems the 4 men remaining of Mix-Up aren't even going to contest Spire here, you know. It's a strange sort of play to make, like, even if they did force the Uber there, they were still in position to go and cap Spire anyway. And now, short-handed Clockwork runs in and beats them.
That's those are just Clockwork things, you know. Clockwork finally found his stride, runs in, drops the demo, forces Uber, and pretty much 4G can just walk in because the point's theirs by that point. So Clockwork doing Clockwork things there, and it secures the round.
I mean, I saw this in the previous map as well. Like, there is good teamwork between Hardblue and Enigma. They have this little unit going on, but they seem to be almost going dark and acting perhaps without authorization from the rest of their team. They did go in there and die and sort of kick the door open. Right now, though, onto mid, and Zealox is playing very aggressively onto the point. Duatna finds first blood onto Arctic Joe, though Clockwork manages to step into the blue house, but is gunned down by Enigma. Lansky is in deep, though, and finds
Indust. Oh my
Indust.
god, that's an air shot.
The position looks good here for 4G, but Platinum is still in around the valley there. Zealox is stranded. He's going to get gunned down as well by Banny. And Enigma is trying to survive here against Blaze, but will succumb to the splash. Arctic Joe was first to die. He's first to spawn here, but what can he do against 6 fully buffed players?
Well, Arctic Joe, I believe he was the first one to die at mid, the previous mid as well. And what I have to say is, from playing against 4G, whenever Duatna does the balcony rollout, you as a scout cannot play on your own train against 4G when he does that, because he will just punish you. And as was just evident there, you know, he puts 2 stickies on Arctic Joe and just drops him right at the start of mid. So the mix-up scouts, you know, you need to pay attention to where Duatna puts those stickies early. That's pretty much the key.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of nuance to that position. Right now, though, we're going to see Uber coming in up top, Sentry down immediately, Enigma switching back to Scout. And Banny is stacking the point, he's drawing all the action in there, somehow manages to survive as his team just spam on that cap point. It's going to be a 3rd round there for Froyotech, though, but as we go to halftime, Mix-Up are still showing that they have what it takes to contest the best team here, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Mix-Up, you know, this is where they need to spend this halftime. Look at what went wrong at mid. Like, you know, whoever died early at mid, they need to identify. Well, I was going to say identify why. Maybe they already know. Is everybody's readying up, and that's probably, like, the quickest halftime I've ever seen at an ESEA LAN. These teams are ready to go, ads.
Yeah, Mix-Up clearly taking a lot of umbrage from their performance in the first half. They're going to continue here, as they already had. Duatna's rolling out through house, picks up the kit, and now going to play from balcony. Let's see if Arctic Joe is going to succumb to his powers. But it seems like it's a volley roll out here from Classic Mix-Up. Platinum, in fact, jumping up to the balcony to protect the house from Blaze. But both teams trading sides here and taking control of each other's train. Blaze now trying to jump in here. And it's actually Hardblue and Platinum who have gone down first. But look at the health on Froyotech. If somebody from Classic Mix-Up just commits to this push, it has to be Arctic Joe. He has to go in here and try and find that 5k. But it's not going to happen. But there was so much damage done there, but they just couldn't seem to focus the targets, man.
At one point, I believe 4G had like 5 people with a combined like 120 health. Like, oh man, just I mean, look at Lansky with 2. Duatna, I believe, picked up a health pack and he's at 83. So it was just, you know, these mids are very, very close. Like the damage is there. Just the scouts, I think the scouts for Mix-Up right now really need to be landing the shots and staying alive and picking the fights. As we have a scout duel happening in Trash. Clockwork drops Enigma there in the one-on-one. That opens up lobby potentially a little bit for 4G to walk in, as it looks like Mix-Up has opted to just hold their last and not even do a forward hold.
Hardblue's playing from Reese up here, trying to spam. He's getting intel for his team, but meanwhile there has been Banny throwing himself onto the point. Perhaps an opportunity to off-class for him, but Hardblue's still playing from behind. Has jumped up onto balcony and trades with Lansky. And right now there's actually a brief man advantage there for Mix-Up. If they did want to step forward, that would have been the time, but there is of course a window of time there on that play, and it has passed. 4G sitting outside, very defensive here, but Classic Mix-Up seemingly having no intention to push. In fact, they've got a heavy weapons guy and an engineer on the field, so they are going for the full turtle here, I guess.
Yeah, we got Tinkertown and the Hero class coming into play, so they're in it for the long haul here, ads.
Enigma just got that level 3 up and he's sitting there. He's always very prompt about changing back to Scout as well. He's just giving them an extra target to shoot at, so it's like you have a choice. Do I force the Uber or do I kill the Sentry? But sort of, I don't know, ironically saying here where Indust is, like if they push they can do both. They can force the Uber and kill the Sentry.
Well, we do have the Clockwork Sniper
so
actually coming into play, which I'm sure they've spotted by now, but Clockwork probably going to try and work an angle on the top left here. Is he going to get a shot? Mix-Up, you know, they know the angles, they've played this map many a time. Platinum does peek there, Clockwork misses the shot. You know, time is on their side here. I believe they're up 3-2, so Clockwork can just take pot shots all he wants all day. Eventually, you know, he's going to hit something, and that should cue the push.
He is allowed to just peek here as well. Like he's just getting free reign to step in and take that hero shot every few seconds. He is now getting spammed a little more concertedly. Platinum's actually going to drop down and peek, and that's what I was hoping for earlier. But they have good vision of Clockwork from the spawn windows. Blaze is going to find Hardblue though on the flank, and again a Hardblue death is sort of going to be the signal for the push here. Perhaps Banny's going to go down to respond to that, but now Froyotech seem like they're going to sit back here. They're going to realise that they don't have any sort of man advantage. Clockwork surfs down onto the lower ground, takes a look in, but Indust is playing very defensively. He's using the map geometry there, just standing on the steps. He cannot be sniped, but any frag could be good here. If Clockwork can find the demo man or the engineer, anybody is a worthy pick and worthy of pushing on, I feel anyway.
Yeah, I feel like though where Indus is staying is a good angle, but yeah, Duatna, what I was going to say, Duatna, what he just did right there is really good. I feel like the demo just peeks main, lob a couple of stickies or pipes, you know, potentially you randomly connect them, and Indus is just forced to use. So I'd like to see Duatna fish for that again, actually. There's a Clockwork taking body shots on the demo, Enigma just kind of saying hello and staring at Clockwork through the glass, but we're more or less just waiting for the picks.
Clockwork on main again. He's got Banny as a bodyguard there. He's looking for that angle. He's playing from the toxic barrels here. You can see the rockets flying at him. He's going to retreat to the lobby for the health kit here, but Froyotech are very happy to remain in control and make these sort of low risk plays. They're not going to sacrifice too many players. They're not even going to sacrifice their Uber charge as it stands, which is maybe something we see commonly in Europe, where teams are very happy to go in quickly and trade Ubers and then try and make the plays after that. But these teams, they seem reluctant to even pop that charge off. There's so much money on the line.
Everybody wants their share of that 16 grand, as I do hear control point being contested and some back cap somehow. Oh, we have Clockwork shooting the stickies off of the point, then Duatna throwing pipes up, like I said, trying to find an angle on Endus. I think he should just keep doing that. That along with spam from up top, you know, they might be able to get a pretty cheeky force as Banny drops down to like 10 HP there.
Ooh, Platinum taking a lot of damage up top there. Trying to hold his doorway. At the same time, Zealox realizes that these stickies keep disappearing. His counter is going down and he keeps replacing them here. Clockwork's going to rotate. He's looking for that angle up top. They knew they did damage to Platinum earlier, and like they know Platinum's interested in taking this fight. So, but now Clockwork's changed back to the lower area. But Platinum could definitely be that entry frag they're looking for. He seems to be getting a little bit impatient there. He was down at 80 previously. Now he's picking up top. He's not even getting healed right now as Lansky walks forward. But he knows that sentry gun is within range. Banny makes a dive for the point, but gets denied quickly by that right click from Zealox. Blaze probing on the bottom right as well, is unable to find his entry, but we're really waiting for Clockwork to make something happen here, or else just die and come back as scout.
Yeah, Banny sacking, I don't know, like, did he just run to point there? Did he sneak in bottom left? You know,
Just ran straight from main, I think.
Yeah, Clockwork just keeps taking shots main. I feel like if Arctic Joe just shows up there with Platinum, they can just kill Clockwork and maybe even kill Dewatna as he's trying to fish for those, like, you know, the sneaky pipes, as I was saying. But, you know, more stalemating. Is there going to be a new exchange finally? Banny goes to the point again. Zalox dipping really low, eats a pipe. I think that's a trade they're going to take. That might cue the push. However, there are no scouts on 4G's side.
Yeah, that is interesting to note. It was like Blaze pushed Hardblue back from the lower side there, and then Banny came in on the bottom, tried to make a play, so it was a little coordinated play from the two of them there. Clockwork's getting a lot of time to peek forward here. He's going to be able to dome Enigma, so that Sentry gun has no regeneration possibilities. It's just going to get spammed down now. And now Platinum chooses this as his moment to go forward and trade Ubers. Lansky is now going to come in top. He's looking through the window there. A little flash as well for Banny. He's going to storm forward and kill off Indus, then dives onto the point. Stickies have been dead, but Zealox is trying to set down more, and he's popping off pipes here, but he just doesn't have enough firepower left in his clip there. He's not going to be able to clean up, and the slow stranglehold from Froyotech has yielded a victim there.
I'm actually curious as to why Platinum did that. Like, his idea, I like the idea to push in and solo as you catch them all clustered up on the stairs, but as soon as he got the force, like, he just desynced from his medic to go die, basically, rather than taking the full solo and backing up with it. But we do have another mid-fight here, as I'm watching Mansky Polanski kind of playing control of the train, you know, counter-jumping Hardblue here, it looks like, as Platinum is the first casualty of this mid-fight. Lansky's gonna get a nice bomb here. Ooh, just the pipe from Zealox able to stuff him there. But why are they still in this? Okay, they're gonna wipe. Oh, they were on the
They were on the blue side. They were on the blue side. Yeah. Yeah, probably best to just die as quickly as possible. Platinum's gonna respawn having died first, but he might run into Clockwork here. He's just gonna try and rush him on last. Has him down to 75 before he's gonna succumb to his wounds from Arctic Joe and Platinum. But that was definitely a play worth making. It didn't happen this time, but they have a big Uber charge, a huge advantage, so much time to play with here. Clockwork will be back on the field. Luckily he's not going to go sniper again, so we might see some action happening pretty promptly. Lansky's going to lead the charge. It's a single Uber up top. Lansky leading, pumping out the damage. Enigma on Pyro, he knows not to shoot rockets there. He's trying to create some space on the point perhaps, pushing a few of those stickies back. His scouts know this, they're trying to edge it. Clockwork and Banny taking turns to dance on that point. And that's going to be a quick, well, reasonably quick 5-2 there. And everything I said, it was all Let's play ball. Yeah, that was too strong.
Just Froyotech, yeah. The mid fights towards the end there, looks like Froyo kind of had a beat on Mix-Up, and Mix-Up just didn't have a response. But my prediction's so far holding up, so I'm happy about that. My crystal ball is working pretty well.
I thought that last hole was pretty interesting. Maybe not the most exciting to watch, but like you say, Platinum's decision to push out, well, or the way he handled it was a bit questionable. Like, he could have done that before whilst he still had the sentry up, you know, as a sort of a security or an insurance policy to hold last. He could have gone behind and tried to make the spy, but he waited until the exact moment that Enigma was dead and the sentry was down to then go and make this push out. I mean, it's sort of the idea that the best form of defense is offense. You're trying to catch them off guard, but he really just like put his
Yeah.
team in a really difficult
By the
position.
time he went for it, it's as you said, the engineer was dead, the sentry gun was dead, and I mean the idea was to catch them all clustered on stairs as they transitioned for the push, which was like I like the idea, but then like as soon as he got the force, he just like rocket jumped towards lower lobby, and it's like wait a second, you know, you have like 9-10 seconds of invulnerability here. Like at the very least, get back with your team and like body block and whatnot. Instead, like he left himself to die, which like when he dies there, you know, that's 4v6 at that point. Like that's pretty much a lost round.
Indeed. Got to take a look at the logs. I believe it's going to be 20 minutes until the next game, but you know, 20 minutes seems to be code word for we don't know when the next game is going to be. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I am furiously clicking on links here though to bring up the Badlands log, and you know, looking at the team damage again, pretty one-sided. I know it's a 5-2. That's what you would expect, but big frag difference, big damage difference. Froyotech seemingly in control for most of the game. And looking at the classic mix-up stats, you know, I'm trying to see who's performing well or underperforming. And Indust's 7 deaths to 3 of Shades.
I think that
Looking
medic
at
stat line is pretty good if you look at it honestly. Like there were 7 rounds played out that game, and he only died 7 times, so 1 round
yeah,
apiece. But yeah, if you look at like the damage numbers there, like Arctic Joe, like 140 DDM, you know, Enigma 170. Then you compare like Clockwork and Banny, like 190 and like 210. So you know the scouts, like I said, just for the same reason they banned Viaduct, as you can see here, the scout muscle is a little bit stronger on the side of Froyo.
I feel like there's the stats are sort of symptomatic of maybe the combo of mix-up not delivering, or I suppose it works both ways. Like sometimes I see Harblue and Enigma going in and making plays that seem out of sync with what their combo wants to do, and vice versa. I'm surprised to see, well, what I see at least is a sort of dissonance or breakdown of chemistry at LAN. Maybe they can work on that. I hope they do, but they have been cast down into that lower bracket. They will be playing 20B. I'm trying to figure out which game we're going to be going to next. It will be that one, in fact. We'll be going to the lower bracket, round 1, Street Hoops versus Classic Mix-Up. And that's right, yeah? Am I right? Am I losing my mind here?
I believe so. Upper bracket, lower bracket. I'm not sure which comes first, but you know we've got plenty
Yeah.
of TF2 in store, and
I keep forgetting that ESEA is giving me the times in my own time zone. So it is, yeah, going to be that game. So the loser of that game will be going out of the tournament. They'll still get a little bit of pocket change, you know, but their dreams of being LAN champions will be dashed. So I think, Blank, we're going to go to another delightful commercial break. You know, the people are demanding more BenQ ads. In fact,
oh
they
man,
want us to stop
how
casting the
did he
games and just
see
run
me?
that
You
filter.
know, that's always my favorite thing. Like when you play a scrim, how did this demo see me? You know, and he debts those stickies. Not even
I want
looking.
that actor to play me in the movie of my life. I feel like that skinhead guy, I could be him, or he could be me. But yeah, Truck, take us away for some intermission and stay with us here on Team Forest. Oh, ESEA Orange, we'll be back for
Oh,
more.
don't choke over there.